Hello and welcome to today's video. It's been a hot minute since I've filmed a life update, a get ready with me, anything like that. So today I thought I'd sit down, play with some makeup that I haven't played with in such a long time, and just kind of give you a little bit of a life update. It's a little chaotic, just to warn you in advance, but why don't we go ahead and get into it. Okay, as we get started, let me go ahead and issue an apology, just like I normally do at the start of most of my videos, that this video may feel all over the place because I haven't sat down to film, at least especially like a get ready with me, in so long, like well over a month, and I can't get this out. Yeah, so I feel very out of practice and very out of breath. Also, not sure, the background is not the way I was hoping. I was like hoping to have like a cute Christmas tree moment, but I can't get things set up to where I actually get enough light on my face and the background that I want. So you can see like construction stuff, baby stuff that we still need to put together this weekend, baby stuff, a little bit of a Christmas tree. It's just a mess, much like myself. So I have pulled out a ton of makeup that I have not played with in so long because things were packed away or I didn't feel very good for a while. So hopefully I'll be able to show you a couple of things as I go along. But most of the stuff, none of this stuff is new. A lot of it is stuff that, again, has been in storage, so I'm excited to play with. I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown face primer, and then this was a No. 7 eye cream that I found and remembered, oh yeah, I'm so close to using this up that I need to use it up. But yeah, today is meant to be a bit of a just kind of show you, or a life update, like kind of tell you where we're at. If you can't tell by the size of my face, I'm very close to being at my due date. In fact, as of today, I think I'm 38 weeks, 3 days that I'm filming this or so. So we're almost there. And in fact, because I have gestational diabetes, in fact, I have given a couple updates here and there in other videos, but I'm going to try to give a little bit more of a comprehensive update. So if you've heard some of this before, I apologize. But yeah, I have gestational diabetes and I am insulin controlled. For a while, I was diet controlled up until the point where I started having a lot of issues with, well, one, my insulin resistance was increasing and I was having trouble, which I never anticipated this, but I was having trouble keeping weight on. I kept losing weight, and that was partially what we were worried about with back in October when Bo and I moved to New Mexico. I was at that time diagnosed with the baby was diagnosed with fetal growth restriction because she was so small. She was in the 8th percentile, so she was only bigger than 8% of other babies her gestational age. And we were concerned about, like, maybe it was diabetes, maybe it's just the placenta. We don't quite know what's going on. And so there's been a lot of ups and downs along the way, between her having an irregular heartbeat or an arrhythmia, pretty profound back in October when we discovered it. Like she was skipping every third beat or so, and it was jarring. But so they've been monitoring her growth as well as baby's irregular heartbeat, and things, like I said, have just been a bit crazy. So we have been very busy. I know I talked about in previous videos that for a while I couldn't focus on anything except for, I was at one point going to the doctor like 3 times a week almost. And there was like one glorious week where she stabilized a good bit and they were like, okay, we're gonna let you go down to once a week. And that 1 week was over and I went back to the doctor and they were like, all right, you're at this point in the pregnancy where your diabetes now requires you to come into the office twice a week. So I've been going to the doctor at least twice a week. And then during the later portion of your pregnancy, it's pretty common that you go in even more often. I'm mixing my e.l.f. hydrating and the matte concealer. I found that the matte is, at least right now for my skin, very, very matte. And if I don't mix it with something, it tends to stick. Plus they're not the correct shades for me, either one of them. One is way too light and one's a bit too dark. But I like them a lot mixed together, and I'm just going to kind of use this to even out my skin tone a little bit. I have a lot of that pregnancy symptom where your like skin kind of darkens, That's like my freckles and stuff and sunspots have really darkened during this pregnancy. I'm curious to see if they'll lighten up on their own, or is that just a permanent kind of thing from pregnancy? I haven't really looked it up because doesn't really bother me too much. It requires me to use a little bit more concealer, but honestly, it's not a big deal. But back to baby update. Yeah, since early October, things had been wild in terms of monitoring her growth, monitoring her heart rate and heartbeat, trying to make sure it doesn't turn into something called SVT. I don't quite know what all that means. I just know that they have been trying to make sure that her heart rate doesn't spike or drop too low, and that it stays, even with their regular arrhythmia, that it stays in a normal heartbeat range, and that it doesn't affect the cord blood flow and things like that, and the blood flow in her brain, things like that. So we've been monitoring that very heavily, and she's gotten so much better. There was a point in early October where the doctors were talking to us when all of this was being diagnosed, and they were kind of warning us, like, the miscarriage rates go way up, the stillborn rates go way up for some of this stuff, and they were just trying to kind of get us mentally prepared for if she didn't kind of get better, what some of the risks might be. But you know, after we waited a couple, like 4 weeks, and we did another growth scan where they measured her just tummy circumference and how long her legs were and things like that. And she grew so much from like early October. In that 4 weeks, she went from 8th percentile to I think it was right at the 30th percentile. And then I think there was another growth rate, but I can't remember what that one was. But recently she had her last one, right after Thanksgiving, and she went from, the last one that I remember was like 30th percentile to she is now like 55th percentile. And I'm so glad that it wasn't the fetal growth restriction, like the classic thing where the placenta she's not getting what she needs from the placenta. It really seems like it has been the key to getting her, at least for me, for her to get stabilized and grow, where we needed to get settled in this house. Because for those of you who don't know, Bo and I, not only did we move from Sweden to New Mexico in September, but we tried to do a lot of life at once, you know, expecting our first child. We bought a house. That's been, you know, a learning curve in and of itself. I think anybody experiences that when you buy your first house. And just like the stress of trying to find furniture, and I know I talked about that before too, just supply chain issues are very real, and we had so many orders like just get canceled last minute, and that was so frustrating to be like, okay, we're unpacking boxes, but we have nowhere to put our stuff because you can't unpack boxes into things that don't exist. So we have a couch, we finally have some bedroom furniture, like a dresser, and we still need a little bit of furniture here and there, but it's not to the point where we couldn't unpack, thank goodness. We definitely are sitting, like our table in our dining room is like a foldable picnic table, like a plastic one, and we're like, you know, that'll work for a while. In the future, maybe we'll find one that we actually really like and can actually get our hands on, but for now, I'm not really worried about it. By the way, I just set my face with this Laura Geller light foundation powder. It's been so long. I literally was recently unpacking my makeup and getting that all sorted, and I'll give you, if I can, a quick overview. Okay, real quick, we have a little vanity that I ordered. It's got some shallow drawers. They're not like the deepest thing, but they hold a good bit. And then we have a little bar cart here, or a little rolling cart here that I have like face palettes and stuff on. I'll try to give like an in-depth tour later. And then I have some plastic bins down here, and each shelf gets a little smaller, so it gets a little bit more difficult to store things on. We got eyeshadow palettes. Pretty much all of my makeup is stored here, and then lip products are kind of over here. That was like a whole nother thing. Again, the supply chain issues were real life and tough to find, like a makeup vanity setup that I didn't hate. I didn't want it to take up a ton of room, but then at the same time I had trouble finding stuff that I felt like fit the space but didn't overwhelm the little bit of space that I wanted to fit my makeup collection into. And I think what I found ended up working. It was not quite, even though they give you the measurements and stuff on the website, I ended up ordering it off Amazon just because I kept having people cancel other orders, and it was just easier to get things from Amazon knowing that they were in stock. So the furniture that I ended up with came with measurements, and I of course measured out, but it's still different. Like when you get it in front of you, I think the bookshelf that I have ended up being a little bit smaller than like what I had measured out or pictured, and it's simply just because my own failure to like imagine it, but it works, and I'm really glad to have all of my makeup unpacked. It's all together. There's none of it in storage anymore. My like usually like half of my collection has been in storage for the past 3 years, so even though I'm not really highly motivated to wear a ton of makeup right now, it is exciting to kind of see it all back together. And that gives me hope that maybe sometime after we get settled and learn how to take care of a baby, that I can get back to filming a little bit more regularly. And it really does kind of make me excited. Like I miss, like I'm sitting here looking at old videos like from last year that I would be making right now, and I'm like, man, I wish I had the time and energy to kind of redo my makeup collection video. That I feel like that would be so fun now, to have everything in one place and be able to film that and edit that. Like, and I will do it eventually. It's just not gonna happen anytime soon, because like I said, I'm over 38 weeks pregnant, and I go in very soon to be induced. And our little world's about to be turned upside down. So I'm trying to give myself some grace, but I am excited to eventually get back to filming one day. I am using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It doesn't really smell like chocolate as much anymore, but it doesn't, I mean, it still smells sweet, but in my brain, I feel like it smelled more like chocolate in the past. Of course, this is like the older packaging, so I'm sure it's not the freshest thing on the block, but still fine. And then I think for blush, I'm gonna go and reach for this Benefit Box Blush that I have barely used because I ended up taking it home and putting it in storage too early. And I remember liking this color quite a bit. But yeah, again, topic hopping like a madman here. I did try to get some footage of baby's nursery. That is like the only room in the house that's completely like kind of done, where we have stuff on the wall. Like I'm sitting here again filming in the living room with the Christmas tree behind me, and we have a couch, and we have this cool china cabinet that we turned into a bar, and we have a TV stand, but there's nothing on the walls in here. We haven't decided how we want to like hang if we want to put pictures or artwork in here. We haven't, like, I want to put some nice like curtains up. We haven't had a chance to do any of that, or even really go look for any of that, so that's unfortunate. And it probably won't get done for a really long time. Like I said, the bedroom has not a stitch of artwork or pictures or anything up on the wall. So it's just, yeah, it's a slow moving process. Although at the same time, I'm so thankful at this point, knowing that we're headed to the hospital very soon to get the induction underway. Like, I feel very settled for how crazy things have been, and I'm very thankful for that feeling. It's nice to like feel this settled. I didn't expect to feel this settled. I think when we moved here, and once I realized how hectic our life was, I was thinking to myself, this baby's just gonna get here and she's just gonna land in this madness. And yeah, and it is what it is. But for now, I feel like it's not too bad. She's not coming into like this crazy anxiety-filled world, even though things aren't perfect and they aren't as finished as I would like to have them. They are done enough, plenty enough to be like safe and enjoyable for her and for us. And I'm really excited to meet her. There's a part of me that's a little terrified. I keep telling people that I am a mixture of terrified and excited. Like, I'm so excited to kind of get my hands on her and to snuggle her and learn how to take care of her. But at the same time, you know, Bo and I have been together over 17 years of like since we started dating, and we've been married over 10 years. I actually don't even remember. Almost 12 years we've been married. And yeah, I'm so used to things with him that there's a big part of me that's like, oh man, this is about to be such a huge change for us that it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamics shift when you add another human being for us to be responsible for. By the way, also just use, I was so excited to pull this out, the Amrezy Highlighter from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I haven't used this thing in so long. Another one that I put in storage because I was too afraid of trying to like get it back and forth to Sweden, and afraid that like the travel in a suitcase would break it. So this was one that I have not used in so long, and I don't remember even what it looks like on me. So I think I'm always surprised by this one. Like this one got so much hype on the internet that I remember thinking, oh, it's going to be like super blinding. And then when I started using it, it is very pretty and it definitely shows up, but it's not as intense of a highlight as I would have expected it to be from like the hype that it got online, if that makes sense. Another product that I'm kind of excited that I realized that I had not touched in so long is this L'Oreal Infallible. It's the Amber Rush. This is like so old school, like YouTube days, right? I was like, I came across this the other day when I was like unpacking my makeup, and I was like, oh my goodness, I remember this used to be like a go-to one shadow look for me. So I was like, you know what? That seems appropriate because I don't really feel like doing a ton of makeup these days. I run out of energy pretty fast in this like last couple weeks of pregnancy. So I figured I would try it out because it's literally been years. Thank goodness it's just a powder eyeshadow and I'm not really worried about it going bad. But figured I'd try it out on camera. But what did I just say? I think I just said that I got some footage of her nursery that I'll input, but like I said, or like I was saying, it's the only room in the house that's done, and it's actually like my favorite room, like in the whole house. Like I go through there, I have to be careful walking through there because I will just lose it emotionally. I'll like look at her little pictures or something and just start crying. I'm a hot mess emotionally already, so I can't imagine how fun postpartum is going to be for me. I'm just a highly emotional person anyways. I let my emotions get the best of me pretty easily. So her room is definitely my favorite, and I'm excited to show it to y'all. I have no idea what I was doing when I was putting together nursery. And again, some of it was just came down to finding furniture. Oh, which let me back up a little bit because that was a whole nother fun thing. So like we were so lucky to have Bo's mom buy our, she bought a crib and changing table from us from like, she got through someone she knew who was getting rid of theirs. And it was nice to like not have to worry about finding those things in the midst of moving over here. But when the movers delivered our stuff in mid-October, we couldn't find the crib furniture or the crib hardware anywhere. And let me tell you, that was a hot mess because that was like one of the things of like, well, you know, we want to get settled, and I definitely want to, like, there's a little bit of that nesting instinct that comes into like getting the baby's room ready, and like she's the most important thing to get ready for. And then you can't find any of the hardware, so then we had to order hardware. Anyways, it was just a hot mess, but we got it straightened out. Her furniture is put together. It's sturdy from what we can tell. We put together ourselves, but it was sure would have been nice to not have lost that furniture, just the hardware in general, because the movers were supposed to put all that together for us, and for some reason, like, we opened up the hardware box and like it was empty, and I was like, great, just what we needed is a whole mess of just more tasks to put on our list in terms of figuring out what hardware to buy. And the moving company again was, or the relocation company that we worked with, were super good to us, and they we got money for the crib and stuff, and we could have bought like a new set, but we were like, we have the set here, so we tried to figure out what hardware we needed, and we just ended up buying some hardware for ourselves and putting it together, thank goodness. But again, that was a madhouse for a bit. Okay, so I went ahead and just did my mascara without talking because it's the most awkward thing to try to talk and not make a face, the mascara face. But I mixed this e.l.f. Keeper Curl mascara and this CoverGirl Lash Splash Volume one. I need to get rid of this. This is like pretty dry. At this point, I'm kind of just using the hard plastic bristles to like comb out other mascaras. But I need to do brows and then lips, and we're pretty much done because this is the world's fastest like makeup look, since I am so pregnant and just I don't have the energy for a lot of it. I feel like I've already taken one nap today, and I feel like, you know, it's probably a good decision if I end up taking another one. I definitely need to trim my brows too. Again, I kind of have no excuse now that I'm mostly unpacked. I really need to get back into like grooming my brows. They're very, very ungroomed and just kind of unkempt, and it would make me feel a lot better if I could just make myself do these things for myself. Like, I appreciate when I do them, but getting to that point of being able to do them sometimes is more than half the battle. By the way, that was the LA Girl, like the Shady Slim brow pencil. I just recently found this and opened it. Very impressed with that little brow pencil, especially when I want like lighter brows. Now, if I were going for more dramatic eyeshadow, I probably would go a little deeper on my brows, but I think for like just everyday light natural looks, it's such a nice brow pencil. I've heard people talk about how good it is for years, and I had purchased it probably well over a year ago and just like never opened it. So the fact that I'm just now getting to try it is like kind of ridiculous, but I really am impressed by it. And then now I'm also just using the Gimme Brow from Benefit. All right, lastly, I grabbed out an old Wet n Wild lip liner in like Bear to Comment, and then another like YouTube classic in Baddest Beige from Maybelline. I don't even remember how I like these two, so I'm a little worried that they might look a little thick, especially since my lips are so dry recently. That is one thing about Albuquerque in New Mexico, where we live right now, is that Sweden wasn't the best for my skin in terms of I got dry skin issues there, especially during the winter. But you know, we landed in high desert, which again is, I feel like for the most part, my skin hasn't changed a ton, but my lips are constantly dry. And especially the past couple of days, I've been bad at drinking water, so that's my own fault. But yeah, I need to get a little bit better about that. But I feel like this is a thicker, creamier pencil, and this is a like kind of a shiny formula, so I'm curious if I'm gonna like this on my lips, because it's been so long since I've tried them. But before I close out this video, I do want to issue an apology that I missed so far. I haven't had time to watch many or any of the Partners in Cream's finale videos that went up recently. I've been trying to finish off all of the like baby videos that I have, like the birth classes and stuff, before again, like I go in very soon. And I had been putting them off because they make me a little anxious once in a while, especially because I forget things, and then I'm like, well, what did I watch them early for? Because I'm gonna forget everything before I even go to the hospital. So I kind of saved a majority, or at least the like more important ones, for this past week. And I've been busy watching those, which I do feel more confident now, and I don't feel like I'm forgetting things. But I apologize for being so MIA for Partners in Cream. And yeah, I hope to make it back at some point next year with the project. Hope to jump in at some point, but I'm not sure when that will be. I also will try to give you a little belly shot in a second. But yeah, this is a creamier lipstick than I remember. But it almost has a little bit of like a white base to it, which I think is not the most flattering, at least for my like dry, wrinkly lips. But I feel like if I shear it out, it's pretty decent. Maybe I should have used a darker lip liner. I probably would have liked it better on myself. Also, my face is, like I said, swollen, and my lips I feel like are a little swollen. So it's a little bit funny looking to see myself in lipstick. Like, I haven't worn lipstick in so long. But yeah, this is probably one of the weirdest get ready with me's I think I've filmed. I'm not sure that I got anything out totally clearly, other than to say that I'm still pregnant. When this video goes up, I probably will still be pregnant, but baby girl will be so close to being here. We're doing really well. She's grown so well. So for those of you who's kept up with the pregnancy and been thinking of us and praying for us and keeping us in your thoughts, I'm so incredibly thankful. And continue to think about us and keep us in your thoughts and prayers, because I'm, like I said, terrified of the birth and recovery process, but I'm so excited to meet her. I hope I can keep her alive and learn how to take care of her, because I have no experience with babies. Thank goodness Bo does. But yeah, I'm, like I said, terrified and nervous. But yeah, I should show you my belly shot, and then I'll throw in the clip of the nursery and we'll wrap things up. Okay, for the belly shot, please forgive me. I was gonna put on like a cute outfit, but I just don't have the energy to do it. The fatigue here at the end is very real. But yeah, this is 38 weeks, 3 days, 4 days? I actually can't remember. But yeah, I'm feeling it. I definitely need help putting on my socks in most days. But yeah, I have really kind of enjoyed having a belly, even though recently it's gotten a lot harder to like sleep at night and to turn over in the middle of the night. Not a lot of fun, but yeah. Anyways, I'll throw in the nursery clip now. Okay, as we get started, we did not have a chance to paint the doors and the trim before we like got her here, but that's okay. We've done a ton of work otherwise. Bo did end up painting her room and her ceiling, and he put in a ceiling fan. We forgot to put in the air conditioner, the ductwork register, but we will. As soon as we figure we'll wait until we take the tree down, because when he drills into the ceiling again, it's gonna create a little bit of dust, so we'll wait. But I'll start over here. Well, I'll start with the fact that she has a Christmas tree. We were unpacking our own Christmas and realized we had no idea where this Christmas tree came from. So we were like, let's put it in her room and match her like space theme. So she just has green and blue balls, and then she has her little infant seat right there that will bring her home in. And then I don't know if you can see this, but in her curtains, there are little, sorry, let me set this down. There are little laser cut out stars, which are so cute. And we have a little lamp over here in the corner, so if we're changing her at night, then hopefully we won't have to turn on all the lights to do that. We have our diaper pail, some diapers, some supplies. We love these little like things here. I have one other one that came in the set. I think it says something about exploring, or like love you to the moon, I think it says. And then we have like a little planet artwork. It says I love you to Mercury, every planet. And then this used to be our bar cart back in the day, and we're fully converting it to a diaper cart. I think I'm gonna put my breast pump and stuff on the bottom, or some clothes for her. I'm not quite sure yet. But this, she'll probably be in our room for the first, like, hopefully first good bit of time. So we're probably just gonna roll that into our room and change her in there. This is like a changing pad that you can throw into the washing machine. We have a couple of those so that we can just change her on the bed. And since we don't have a changing station in our room. And then this is her closet. Let me see if I can open it. Yeah, so we have some books for her up top, a little memory box that we're gonna give her. We have a bunch of clothes that, like, these things she'll fit in right at the beginning. She'll grow into these. And then I found some old random shirts that used to belong to me or Bo that I thought were cute, and I've put them in her closet for like one day if she ever wants them. And then we have like this super cute toy bin that right now we're using to hold books and diapers, and there's some toys at the bottom, but it's just kind of a really nice organizational piece. There's a pack and play that someone was getting rid of that we were like, yes, we'll take. We have diapers, we have boxes of wipes, her stroller base, her diaper bag. And then this over here is a piece of furniture that Bo put together for her when our furniture kept getting canceled when we tried to order furniture. Now a lot of these, some of these are new, some of these like dolls and stuff for her are new, and then some of them are old. Like this guy here, I had to grab him out, but this was what I gave to Bo on our very first Valentine's Day. You can see it right there. And I thought it was cute to turn around and give to her, and she can probably throw it away one day. But this is just like, we actually don't have a ton of her clothes in there right now because most of them are in a bin. We're anticipating her needing them in our room since we'll probably mostly be in there. But I love this little lamp. This is from her aunt. And this is the very first ultrasound that we had of her. She had been in my tummy only about 2 weeks. And for those of you who haven't seen some of my other stuff, I had 2 miscarriages before, so this was the first ultrasound that I ever got to see like heartbeat with. And I remember how emotional it was. And I literally, while I've been pregnant, I can't walk past this picture without like crying for 10 minutes. So I just think it's really special, and I'm happy to put it in her room. And then that painting there is something that I did a while back. I'm not a painter, if you can tell. But this is like, there was a photo taken by one of the telescopes, and it's called Pale Blue Dot, and that little bitty pale blue dot there is supposed to be Earth in the actual like photo that the telescope took. And I tried my best to paint it for my husband, and we found it. We unwrapped our stuff and we're like unpacking our stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I kept this thing. And I was like, I'm gonna put it in her room since she has like a space theme. And then we got some nice, beautiful little art prints gifted to us, and I love them. I think they're super cute. We have like a little projector back there. Her mobile is super cute. We have some pillows, which I know when she finally sleeps in here, we'll take them out. But for now, she won't be in here for at least a couple months. So we have her, sorry, I'm a little wobbly and out of breath. But we have her little like hamper. This rug, it might be one of my favorite things in this room. I found it on Amazon. We have a little bitty hideaway like shelf right there that I just stuck extra sheets and blankets in for her. And then yeah, this is pretty much her whole little room. I think it might be my favorite room in the house. Probably doesn't hurt that this is the only room in the house with actual decorations up. Our bedroom and our living room and things like that have absolutely nothing hung up in them yet. But also, I just think it's adorable, and I'm super excited to meet her. She'll be here soon. I can't believe it. Terrified and exhausted and excited all at the same time. But yeah, this is the little nursery tour. But that's everything. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that this wasn't too chaotic of a catch up, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.